the story continues at part 2. So where we last left off, I had my PlayStation 2, my brother was more the game on that. I had 1 or 2 games on it, but still, I never really played that much. However, come 2007, the PlayStation 3 is announced, but I didn't get the console till 2009, early 2009. So I had to wait a whole lot of time just to get that PlayStation 3. But when I finally got it, it was still pretty much business as usual in terms of gaming. Like, at that point I had barely any games. There wasn't much interesting me on the market at the time. And because I was sort of really stepping up my game, I was like a fish out of water. I was just like, I don't know any of these games, someone help me. But I remember the deal I got with me and my brother got with the PlayStation 3. It was quite funny. We got Terminator Salvation, that abomination of a game which I've completed in 1 hour. I've sped run the game. It is brutal as hell. Although, to be fair, I did that on the easiest difficulty. I'm pretty sure if I did it on the hardest difficulty, it could take me 2, maybe 3 hours to speed run through that game. And I remember there's one other game that came to it. I think it was a James Bond game. I can't remember. All I remember is Terminator Salvation came with it, and oh boy, that game was terrible. So my PlayStation 3 career didn't really get off to a flying start. Well, that all changed when I got Assassin's Creed 2. I'll talk more about that later, but before I got that, I actually got a sick racing game called Colin McRae Dirt 2. I loved this racing game. Like, yes, I'd played Need for Speed Most Wanted beforehand, and I thought that was a sick game. But I got this game for my birthday, and I hadn't really heard of it. My mum just sort of picked it up for me for my birthday. She thought, oh, it's a racing game. Looks like a sick cover. It's 12 plus. You know, I'll just pick it up for him and get it. And I'm glad she did. I am really, really glad she did. It's a phenomenal racing game. However, it hasn't got much rally to it, even though it's supposed to be a rally genre game. I think it's only like 40% of the entire races in the game are rally races, which it's not that good, but the rally courses they had in there, they were sick. It took you across the world. You know, you were going to parts of the United States like Baja, California, Utah, and then LA. You were going to London, Malaysia, Morocco. I can't roll my R's now for some reason. Morocco. Yeah, see, rolling R's, terrible. Anyway, moving on. So, I got Colin McRae Dirt 2. Now, one other game that had an impact on me at the beginning of my PlayStation 3 career was Modern Warfare 2. I was a small lad when I got it, newly started at high school. My new friends had it, so I thought I may as well pick it up. And I was garbage at the game. I remember I used to use the RPD, and I, for some reason, always had the thermal sights on, because I remember it boosted the gun's accuracy stats. Although it does that for every single weapon, but it's a horrible choice to pick, always rocking with the thermal sights. And so yeah, I was horrible in Modern Warfare 2. I played the campaign. I played it on the easiest difficulty, although I played quite a lot of the campaign. But I just kept going back replaying it because I was, again, horrible at the multiplayer. So, years rolled by, not much happened. My brother kept getting the FIFA games. Then in 2010, I got Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. I got the Codex Edition. I'll talk more about that in my Assassin's Creed recap thing. But then I got I believe my brother got Red Dead Redemption. You'll find a commonality throughout the PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 3 years. Quite a lot of it, my brother got the games. But it was around 2010, the gaming part of me just clicked into motion. Like, I sort of became more of an aware gamer. I wanted to start getting more games. I wanted to play more games. I was actually looking out at the market, going out my way, trying to get these sick games. And to be fair, my brother has had some sick titles as well. He got the game called The Saboteur. It's a good title, set in World War II, occupied Paris. You're an Irish race car driver who's also a saboteur for the French resistance. You get to go around killing Nazis, blowing up zeppelins, shooting down planes. You just basically get to blow up Nazi-controlled Paris to liberate it. Which is why I'm surprised the guy is Irish and not American. Anyway, so yeah, it all began to click for me back in 2010. My brother had picked up Black Ops. I played it, I actually began to play more the multiplayer. My skill was slowly increasing in terms of shooters, so you know, it was getting better and better and better. But then, 2010, I picked up games like Red Dead Redemption via one of my brother's friends. He just gave it to him, and oh boy, it was a brilliant story. Although me playing multiplayer across all sorts of platforms of games, me going out my way to exclusively play the multiplayer in games, not instead of just playing the single player, that really picked up in 2011 when I picked up Modern Warfare 3, Assassin's Creed Revelations, blah blah blah. Again, Revelations I'll have to save it for another time, but I really begun to have this growing interest in multiplayer games, especially since I was watching the online series, The Online Gamer. Like, there was just something inside me that was peaking, that was growing, saying, you know, let's start getting out there, let's get onto the online community. Although this account that you know me by isn't my first account. I got this account at the end of early 2011 when I moved back in with my dad. I got another PlayStation, and so I created a new account instead of just reloading my old one. But it was at that point where I was really becoming very, very interested in online games. Like the whole aspect of playing a game online against other players, just trying to beat them. This really grew in me. And then in 2012, I picked up Battlefield 3. Although my gaming collection grew more and more. I would go more and more into my gaming collection, but I feel like I'm taking up too much of your time by talking about my gaming collection. So instead, I'm going to talk the rest about the games that sort of had a big impact on me in terms of growing up. So another one is Colin McRae Dirt 3, which is the sequel to Dirt 2, more of a rally game. I enjoyed the crap out of this game. I prefer Dirt 2 simply because of the style of the game, but Dirt 3 is just a sick game with modes like the Gymkhana mode. Just rocking around Monte Carlo, just drifting, it was sick. But then, after a while, I picked up Battlefield 3 because I was getting bored of Call of Duty. I was just like, I want a big, large, open scale battle. I want to play on that kind of field. Now, my desire for this didn't come out of the whole, you know, Call of Duty versus Battlefield thing. It actually came out of watching another online series called Video Game High School. The main game in that was a crossover between Call of Duty, Battlefield, and Counter-Strike. And the Battlefield element, I was just kind of like, you know, I want to play Battlefield. This makes me want to play Battlefield. I don't know why. So I picked up Battlefield 3, and again, something clicked, something changed inside me. It's like I leveled up in terms of being a gamer. I was really now focused on being, like, the sort of aspect to me really grew, like this whole part about being interested and intrigued about performance stats on games, about sort of interface details, all that. Out of nowhere, I just grew as a gamer, and it was thanks to Battlefield. But of course, I've played the major titles like Grand Theft Auto 4, Grand Theft Auto 5. But to wind down the PlayStation 3 years, I actually picked up the second and third Uncharted games. I picked up Uncharted 2 ages ago, but like, I hadn't really played it. I picked up Uncharted 3 and I hadn't really played it. But then when I begun to play it, those games were just amazing. So much so that I can't wait for Uncharted 4. Oh, the Thief's End. But yes, I hadn't really played those games, but once I played the story, I was just sort of opened up to Naughty Dog and PlayStation exclusive titles. But to conclude the PlayStation 3 years, I got The Last of Us, which was a stellar game. I got the early edition when it came out. I remember my dad picking me up from school, just handing this parcel. I opened it up, and I opened it up. It was just like The Last of Us, the early edition. I was just like, yay! Now I can kill people in a new and fun zombie apocalypse-ish manner. But yes, if I had to conclude the PlayStation 3 years, and sorry I couldn't go into more detail about this because it's so much information to cram in, but yes, the PlayStation 3 years is where the gamer in me really grew. And the next and final episode will be the PlayStation 4/PC years, where I actually begin to make a shift to PC gaming like I started before.